G'day, my name is Yorkie. I'd like to tell you a story that happened in 1964 in the Outback of Australia. You ever had a fuck, Yorkie? Said Kevin. No, mate, I'm only 15. I doubt whether I get one in a brothel with a wallet full of money. We had a good laugh at this one. You'll have to come into town and stay at my place one night, Yorkie. I'll take you down the main street after dark and introduce you to the town bike. What's a town bike? I said. Not what, mate? Who is more like it? Okay then, who? She's a Sheila that loves it. She's called the town bike, mate, because everybody rides her, Yorkie. Don't you get it, mate? I do now, I said. I think I'll stick to walking until I get a ute. Yeah, that'll get you a Sheila, mate, he said with a smile. After about an hour of joking and driving, Kevin said to me, We'll grease the header up this time around, Yorkie. After I finish dumping her, I'll show you how to grease her. Once I became familiar with the header, it only took me a few minutes to grease her, which I did while Kevin was emptying out the bin into the truck. Greased and emptied, we set off around the wheat paddock again. What's the matter? Said Kevin, as I scratched away at my shoulders and the back of my neck. The wheat dust is making me skin itchy, mate. Wait till we start stripping the oats and barley. They're much worse than the wheat, mate. How long does it take to get used to that, Kevin? Oh, once you've scratched all the skin off, Yorkie, you won't notice it anymore, he said with a grin. Our days passed very much like that for about 8 weeks. One night, as we were driving home, Digger said to me, Grab the rifle off the back of the window, will you, Yorkie, mate? No problem, I said as I turned around to get it. We need a couple of roos for dog tucker. Digger's got 5 dogs, and I got 6 of the bastards. Plus, the old man has a couple, so 2 roos don't last long between a dozen or so dogs. There's some scrub country up the back of Digger's place, so we'll swing by there on our way home. We'll get 2 or 3 quite easy, 'cause it's right on dusk now. There's a small mob, said Digger, as we drove along one of his fences. Jump in the back with the gun, Digger. Once you shot one, we'll chase 'em down the fence line. If we're lucky, we'll get one on the hop. Digger very quietly opened the door and climbed in the back of the ute with Kevin's 5-shot Bruno 22. Bang! A half-grown roo fell over on its side and the others took off at top speed. Hang on, Digger! Yelled Kevin as we bounced over the rough paddock dirt track. Wait till we get a bit closer, sport. Okay, Digger, let 'em have it. Digger fired 2 shots, and a big roo hit the dust. 2 more shots rung out, but the roos kept hopping. Ah, you useless fucking bastard, yelled Kevin out of the window. You only got 1 of them. Digger's rough head came into view upside down in Kevin's side window and said, You try hitting them with a fucking pea rifle, mate. It's not as easy as it looks. Anyway, it took me all my time to hang on. I almost fell out. Yeah, you fucking useless Digger, yelled Kevin. Too much fucking wanking is your problem, mate. Well, it's cheaper than looking after a fucking wife in town, Kevin. At first, I used to think that they were fair dinkum when they spoke to each other in this way, but after a while, I came to realize that it was all designed to entertain me, and entertain me they did. The ute pulled up alongside where the roo was now balanced on one leg and his tail, and from the looks of him, he was not in a very good mood. He looks a bit cranky, said Kevin, as we got out of the cab. He's got a broken leg, that's why, I said. They're pretty tough bastards, said Digger, who was sitting on the edge of the back of the ute. "They sure are, Digger," I said. "You think you're as tough as a roo, Yorkie?" "What do you mean, Digger?" "Well, for instance, it would be a bit of a shame to waste another good bullet on him, wouldn't it?" "I suppose so," I said in my naivete, not knowing I was in the process of being set up. "You could strangle him, Digger," I said, which was exactly what he wanted me to say, and I'd taken the bait, hook, line, and sinker. "Yeah, I probably could, mate, but I'll bet me boots a pommy bastard like you wouldn't be able to strangle him." There was no way out of the challenge now, 'cause I was in too deep, so my next line had to be, "How much you want to bet, Digger?" "How much you make a week, Yorkie?" "10 quid. Why?" "I bet you half a week's wages." "You're on, Digger," I said, as I offered him my handshake. "Your word's good enough for me, Yorkie," he said with a big smile. "Jesus Christ," said Kevin. "This'll be a bit of fun. The pommy versus the roo. To the death." "Oh, shit," I thought. "You let them con you, Yorkie. Now you'll have to go through with it, or they'll take the piss out of you for weeks on end. They'll say that you're a gutless pommy bastard. You'll never hear the end of it." "Whenever you're ready," said Digger. "Take your time, mate. He's got a real strong tail. Look how he's sitting up there." I turned to face the roo, who was now growling and raring to go. As I moved towards him, he moved around a bit, so he was still facing me. So I moved around the other way. As soon as I made my move, the roo made his, so he was still facing me. I may be able to run around the back side of him. But he saw what I was up to and hopped around on his one good leg and thick, strong, sinuous tail to face me again. "You're not making much headway with him, Yorkie," said Kevin. "I think the pommy bastard's scared of him," said Digger. "If I go at him face on, Digger, he'll kick me guts out." "Yeah, he most likely will, Yorkie," said Digger, who was now chewing on a piece of wheat stalk. "Tell you what I'll do for you, Yorkie," said Kevin with a smile. "I'll distract him with a branch, and you sneak around the back of him, and when he's not looking at you, you can run in and grab him, mate." "Okay," I said, glad for some help. "Go grab a big stick." Kevin moved over to the side of the fence and picked up a large stick with some eucalyptus leaves on the end of it. "All right, Yorkie," he said with a big smile. "Get ready, mate." Kevin walked in front of the roo and shook the stick in the roo's face, and the roo turned to face him. I made the best of my opportunity. Running towards the roo, I grabbed him by the throat with my bare hands. This really pissed him off. As I started to squeeze, he put his hands up to my hands that were wrapped tightly around his neck and started to claw at them. So I squeezed his neck much harder now. He fell over backwards on top of me, which knocked me to the ground, but by this time we were both fighting for our lives. As we rolled around on the ground, the roo's one good back leg kept coming in, up, and down with great force as his large razor-sharp toenail cut through the air, trying to connect with some solid pommy skin. The red dust was flying quite thick now as we rolled around in the dirt. The roo's large thick tail was thumping the ground as he tried to get his balance back so he could regain his one good leg. We were so close together now that we could smell each other, and he sure didn't like the smell of white, pommy, palm olive flavored skin. So he kicked as hard as he could, while at the same time trying to twist his body so he was facing me. I could hear Digger and Kevin laughing their heads off as Digger said, "Look out, Yorkie! If he gets turned around to face you, you're fucked, mate." "I'll never collect me 5 quid," he roared with laughter. "Fuck you, Digger," I screamed, "and fuck your 5 quid, mate. This bastard is a bloody strong roo, even with one leg." "Hang on to him, Yorkie, baby," roared Kevin from the sideline. "I think you're making a bit of progress with him, mate. Try squeezing a bit harder." I could feel the vibration in the Roo's voice box as he growled and growled. I was squeezing as hard as I could, but it was not making much impression on him as we rolled around in the red Aussie dirt. He tried to regain his foot and rolled over on his other side, taking me with him, as I tried to get a foothold in the doss with me work boot. "I think you're getting one up on him, Yorkie," roared Kevin amidst a big belly laugh. His eyes were starting to bulge a little bit. "I can't squeeze any harder," I yelled to Kevin as we rolled around again. "If he turns around to face you, Yorkie, give him a big kiss. That'll confuse him, mate. But be careful he doesn't bite your lip. And look out for his breath," added Kevin, "as it probably stinks. It doesn't look like he's cleaned his teeth for a while, mate." "Give us a fucking hand, Kevin," I yelled. "I'm stuck with him. I can't kill him and I can't let him go." "You're doing great, Yorkie," yelled Digger. "I'm getting me £5 out now so I can pay you, mate, as soon as he's dead." The Roo was in no worse shape now than before I started. His sinewy neck was strong as hard-core rubber under the grey and brown fur. The more and longer I squeezed, the more it seemed to piss him off. I felt like he knew I'd lost before I started, and all I could do now was to hang on to his neck so he couldn't turn around and kick me to death. As I eventually regained my feet, I yelled to Kevin, "Bet him with a stick, mate. I'm going to try to let him go." "No," said Digger. "Hang on to him, Yorkie. You're doing great, mate." "Fuck you, Digger. You take over if you want. But I'm letting him go right now, mate, so grab the stick." I let go of the grip I had on the Roo's throat, and as I opened my hands, he shot forwards and regained his feet. I shot backwards as fast as I could without losing my footing. The Roo had turned around again, and he'd gone forward, so now we stood face to face with each other at a distance of about 8 feet. As we both stood there, breathing hard and gasping for breath, Digger said, "I think you've just about got him fucked, Yorkie. Dive on him again, mate, and give him another good dose. Show him what you're made of." "Fuck you, Digger," I said between gasps. "He's too good for me, mate." Digger was sat on a can in the back of the ute, still laughing away to himself as Kevin shot the Roo and stuck him in the back of the ute with the other one. "All right," said Kevin. "Let's go. It'll be 10 o'clock before I get home at this rate. The missus will be wondering where I've got to." When we got back to the homestead, we threw the 2 Roos into the dog pen, and Kevin opened them up with a sharp pocket knife so as to make it easier for the dogs to get at the meat. When we walked away, the Kelpies were all fighting to maintain their positions in the pack, and some of them were fighting to move up a position so they could eat before the rest of them. "Look at the bastards," said Kevin. "They won't work for a bloody week after a feed like that." "Yeah," said Digger. "Just as well we won't be needing them for a while." That evening, after a good shower, Digger related the story how Yorkie had tried to strangle a kangaroo on the way home. Dick Skipworth, their father, had a good laugh between mouthfuls of cold mutton, and Ruby said to me, "Be careful of those 2 boys of mine, Yorkie. They'll kid you up a tree and chop it down if you let 'em." "I can see that, Mrs. Skipworth. I'll watch out for 'em from now on." "I owe Digger £5." Digger started to laugh, and after he'd finished he said, "I'm cancelling the bet, Yorkie. That's the best £5 worth of entertainment I've ever had in my life."